What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB. Once again, big shout out to my dog, Food for Dudes, for coming through and boosting up the coin. So, we got some breaking news for you, man, the great unwashed masses, right now regarding TEOFIMO Lopez and SHAKUR Stevenson. It's been leaked. Here it is. Bosh. No one's heard this before. FYI. Starting off 2026 with a banger. Yeah, this is what Joe Sniff Parker was on. This fight right here. I'm not sure, it's close. What would you prefer? Right? The substances Joe Sniff Parker was consuming or this fight? I'll leave you, man, to decide. Here we go. TEOFIMO Lopez will defend his ring and WBO junior welterweight world title. Junior welterweight, that's 140, isn't it? Has SHAKUR been at 140? I think he has. World titles against SHAKUR Stevenson January 31st. Not long as well. Literally, by the time Christmas is over, it's going to be on us. We've got the light-skinned prophet, Moses Atalma. We've got Mr. Johnston, Anthony, versus Fake the Cake, Dinner Lady, Bingo Wings, RuPaul. This is normally... Christmas is a bit dead, although last year we had Usyk, didn't we, in Fury, but it wasn't. That was one fight. December's normally dead. I'm sure we got another one. Either way, whatever. Let me investigate this now, right quick. Because I don't think SHAKUR... I know it's early to do the fight analyses, baby please, but still, I'm intrigued. I don't think he's been at 140. He's a big dude though. He's not like Crawford, but I don't think you're going to notice. I mean, Crawford went to 168 and didn't look small. I don't know what... He didn't even look fat, did he? He's put on 21 pounds since the Errol Spence fight and looked no different. I've never seen nothing like that. Who looked soft when they went up in weight? Benavidez, he looked soft at 168. Well, anyway, let's cut to the point here. SHAKUR Stevenson, yeah, he's been his last few fights have been at 135. He's stepping up to TEOFIMO's weight at 140, but TEOFIMO, he ain't a big dude either. Although he was a career 130 pounder, I think SHAKUR, he might have started at 126, to be honest. So let's have a look. Yeah, he did. So SHAKUR started at 126. TEOFIMO started at 135. So there's no doubt SHAKUR's a smaller man. This will be SHAKUR's what? Did he become champion? He did. 126 champion, 130 champion, 135 champion, and now 140 champion. TEOFIMO is only a two-weight world champion. 135, he beat Lomachenko, and 140, who did he beat? Barboza, was it? No, he got it ages ago. He beat Josh Taylor, of course he did, for the WBO world title. So TEOFIMO is going to be the bigger man. Allegedly, he's 5'9". I think that's cap. There's no way TEOFIMO's 5'9". SHAKUR's 5'8", though. I don't think you're going to notice the size difference, to be fair. This fight, I salute Turkey. It's fights like these, we didn't get Devin Haney and SHAKUR way back when. I actually think TEOFIMO at his best is trickier than Devin Haney. Devin Haney is no doubt a great boxer, right? Slightly one-dimensional though. That dimension's changed to some extent. Brian Norman's a stiff idiot though. But anyway, maybe it's changing, but historically speaking, Devin was straight up and down, jab your head off, and put the right hand in every now and then. Teo on his best night, there's shades of... You wouldn't look at nothing Devin Haney does and say, oh, that's really special. Teo on his best night, the angles of his footwork... Devin's not known for crazy angles. The head movement, Devin's not known for crazy head movement. He's known for dipping at the waist and clinching like a metronome. Teo on his best night is more creative. SHAKUR, again, unlike Devin, SHAKUR's more well put together. He's hard to beat, is the point. clearly. I think Devin Haney is easy to beat. We've seen Devin Haney having life and deaths, even in his prime, with Jorge Linares. A life and death battle that was. Nail biter. We've never seen that. What's the closest fight we've seen Shakur in? I can't think. There's none on here, is there? They've all been clear wins from the rip, to be honest. Stinkers, most of them. But even him, he looked a little better with Zepeda. And actually, looking at Shakur's record, what Teo has that Shakur don't, which, as we saw in the Devin Haney versus Brian Norman fight, is important. As good as Shakur may be, when you look at his resume, they're all bare bums in the shower. Not one of these names is going in the Hall of Fame, for sure. The best you've got on here is who? Oscar Valdez. Who did he beat? No one knows. Yeah, there's no one. Zepeda, again. Okay. I thought that fight was closer than they had it, but none of these men are anywhere close to the pound for pound. Whereas when you look at Devin Haney, for example, sorry, we're talking about Teofimo. That's what Turkey called him. Turkey was on a call to the Boxing Voice and said, Teofimo. Turkey's been negotiating with this guy for like 2 years and he called him Teofimo. The way Turkey dropped it made me laugh. Anyway, I brought Devin Haney and Brian Norman up to say, in that pre-fight build-up, I wasn't sure. Brian Norman was the favourite. We weren't sure how Devin was going to turn up, but a key tenet of that build-up analysis, baby please, was the fact Brian Norman is beat a bunch of bums. Yeah? What's he going to do when he's in there with someone who equally or outmatches him athletically speaking? And we saw what he did. Nothing. That said, there's no doubt Shakur's more talented than Brian Norman. Brian Norman's quite straight up and down, really. If you stand in front of him and have a swing up, it could go either way. But outside of that, he's got no ideas. Shakur's more dynamic than that, and he's not a stand and banger. He's not an idiot on the inside, Shakur. You don't really see him. He ain't really fought. Zepeda came to fight. He was throwing his hands and whatnot. So he can deal with that. But Devin was that class in the Brian Norman fight. Why? He'd fought... Who did Devin Haney fought again? Wait there a minute. Let me check this right here. I'm gassing Devin Haney up. It's not really relevant to this fight, but he's going to segue into my next point. Who did Devin Haney up? My mind's shot right now. I'm normally quite good at remembering. Lomachenko, take that for example. Okay, Lomachenko was washed up. Still, Devin turned up in a 50-50 fight as such and performed and nicked it maybe. He's been in there with top world level class. The man who could never be beat as such. Lomachenko. Prograis was washed up. Okay, well, he ain't really fought no one himself, to be fair. Devin Haney ain't fought no one himself. But listen, I'm giving him Lomachenko. So at least he's fought one decent dude. Under the lights. No doubt. Lomachenko's going in the Hall of Fame. Right? The rest of these idiots on there, they ain't going nowhere. But at least he got one. He performed in an undisputed fight against certainly the top three in the division, Lomachenko. Shakur, he ain't got a bean and none of that. You see what I mean? Now, if Teo don't turn up, we've seen Teo have a life and death. A life and death. A proper life and death. A life and death. With Kambosos. Bamocious Kambosos. He had life and death with him, man. You know, never mind 50-50. He lost that fight. That's what he did. So if Teo don't... I mean, I'm telling you right now, in fact, since we're here, let's check the odds. I'm intrigued. I'm hoping, because Shakur's turning up, moving up in weight, sorry. I'm hoping... Oh, no. Yeah. There's no value in this fight, folks. Shakur's a massive favourite. In fact, I like Shakur to win this fight, but so does everyone else, so there's no value. You put 100 quid on Shakur, you'll win 36 profit. And this, for me, is closer to a 60-40 fight or a 55-45 fight. But I get it. Shakur's more reliable. He's never been beat. He's never lost. He's never looked close to looking like he's losing. Teo, Shakur's never been down either. Teo's been down by Kambosos, who can't punch. He's been inconsistent. I can't remember the last fight he had. Oh yeah, he fought Barboza, didn't he? That was a bit of a stinker though. Looked quite comfortable for him, but who's Barboza? No one knows him either. I can't believe how wide these odds are. That's crazy. So you put a tenner on TEOFIMO Lopez and you'll make £25 profit. I think the best one here, the best way to play this is the in-game. And the value will be with Lopez. If that makes sense. Wait until it starts. If Lopez is looking good, then you might be able to get him at still 1-1. Right? Or because it will take time for the odds to shift down or shift in TEOFIMO's favour. If you start at a 3.5 decimal for TEOFIMO and he wins the first 2 rounds, it might still be 1-1 or 1.5-1 2 rounds in. You can't put it on TEOFIMO. He might lose his head. He might not turn up. You'd like to think he would. In his big fights he has. Again, only Lomachenko really. Let's see who TEOFIMO's fought actually. He fought the prime Lomachenko. In his defence. Undefeated, I believe. Well, take out the Salido situation. Let's have a look. TEOFIMO Lopez. TEOFIMO's fought Barboza. No good. Jermaine Ortiz. This is what I'm saying actually. Talking about Jermaine Ortiz. TEOFIMO had a life and death with Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine Ortiz could have won that fight. So this, in fact, Teo blows hot and cold. So Teo, check this out. Teo beats Lomachenko almost every round. Seriously. One judge had it 119, 109. The other judge 117, 111. So he washes Lomachenko. He then gets beat half to death by Kambosos. Yeah. He then has a life and death, which he lost in my opinion, against Sandor Martin and got put down again. Sandor Martin has he's worse than Paulie Malignaggi, seriously. Sandor Martin, he's better than, Sandor Martin has a 35% KO ratio, but he can't punch. Teo gets put down by Sandor Martin. I lost money on that as well. I bet on that fight having no knockdowns, and all of a sudden, that is one of the craziest ones. I had a lot of money on there, maybe £1,000 on that one, at the peak of my gambling degeneracy. In my mind, I thought I was worried about Sandor getting knocked down. Teo went down. Like, what the fuck? How does that? Sandor can't punch, man. If you watch him, you know he can't punch. He even looked like Paulie Malignaggi. Let's look at this cat right quick. Let me show you this cat right quick. Where's this cat at? Look at this guy. This is Paulie Malignaggi nephew, man. Seriously. Sandor Martin. I'll show you right now. You think I'm playing? You tell me. You tell me if this ain't Paulie Malignaggi little nephew. Fucking hell, man. Bare slow. Like I ain't got things to do. Like, what is this, man? I just clicked it. What are you waiting for? Oh my. This is diabolical. No, now you open 4 then, yeah? Yeah, just open 4. I'll tell you what, don't open any of them, but get 4 tabs up ready. Just lagging the system up. Here we go. Come on, people. That's not Paulie Malignaggi nephew. I see shades of Paulie Malignaggi there. Anyway, I've digressed there. What I'm pointing out is the inconsistency. Where was we? Looks the hottest thing since sliced bread against Lomachenko. Then gets weighed in. Gets his cherry popped by Kambosos. He then goes on to have a life and death with Sandor Martin and gets put down. He then looks 10 out of 10 against Josh Taylor. Right? And then he has a life and death with Jermaine Ortiz. It literally blowing hot and cold is the only way you can put it. He looked alright against Barboza, but it was a stinker, to be fair. And this fight, actually, it does have the potential to be a bit of a stinkinator. Shakur and Teo. Because they've both got the speed. Teo's good when Barboza's relatively slow. So Teo's able to do what he wants to do and look good. Shakur's got very quick feet and very quick hands. So it might end up being a bit of a stink-off. And in a stink-off, I'm going with Shakur. Honestly. I think Teo does have a little bit of a leakier defence. Although can Teo's movement put Shakur off? I think not. And I think the masses are right on this one. The one place I do think there might be, there's no value there really either. Will the fight go the distance? That's an easy one, but you're only going to get a 22% return. But given the choice between betting on Shakur at a 36% return and betting on the distance, that means anyone can any draw or any winner on points and you win. There's no knockout in this, seriously. I'm not even playing. I'll find a way to build this into an ACCA. Just slap it in there. There's no way this fight gets... No, seriously. I know he's... Listen, I'm telling you right now, there's absolutely zippo chance. That's a free 22%. You can put whatever you want on there. Seriously. Honestly, I rarely say this, but remortgage your house. Yeah, this is financial advice. Remortgage your house right now. That's going to points. Seriously. And there's no doubt about it. So if you want a free... I mean, come on. People wait 2 years to get a 22% return. So you might as well go all in on this one. Seriously. Just free cash for half an hour's work. And you can flip it again as well. There'll be another coup coming up. Another coup right there. Bosh. Absolutely guaranteed. Yeah. And it leans towards a stinker as well. Honestly. It could be a dodgy decision. It's going to be hard to score this fight, I believe. It's not... Unless... If Teo turns up and shits to bed, it'll be another Shakur stinker on points. If he turns up, though, and he's red hot, it's going to be hard to score. You have to go with the consistency of Shakur, though. It's a shame. I thought this fight would be priced more near 50-50. In which case, I'd have gone with Shakur, but there's no value there at all. Anyway, I do want to get some clips before we get out of here. They've got some of the build-up going already. Oh, here we go. So I've just seen Eubank. Look at this weapon here. Oh, man. This guy's a weapon. Anyway, that's not the point. Let's find these clips of TEOFIMO. Where's TEOFIMO at, man? Here we go. Here's TEOFIMO.
I look at it like this. I may get something out of it, but Crawford sent out one of his little guys to come and finish the job, and I think that's not gonna work. You know, I'm still gonna be here, and if he's still gonna be in boxing, I would love to face him right after. He is the guy. He is the man of boxing, and I think if he could go up 3 weight divisions to fight Canelo Alvarez, why can't Teofimo go up 2 weight classes or 3 to face Terence Crawford? I look at it like this.
Yeah, I mean, I rate that, to be fair, from Teo. If Teo was to beat Shakur, and God forbid knock him out, Crawford would have to go handle that. It's reminiscent of Adrian Broner and Marcos Maidana. Adrian Broner, I think Floyd's a bit fake, but I think Floyd does it for his ego. Floyd wanted to show, because AB was saying, "Oh, I'm Lil Bro, I'm Lil Floyd." Floyd wanted to show Broner, "You ain't Lil Floyd, you no good." But Crawford wouldn't. I don't get sinister vibes from Crawford. If Shakur was beat by Teo, I think Crawford would want to handle that like a big brother. Yeah, I got that. And if Teo beats Shakur, he deserves that, to be quite frank, because clearly he's a 2.5 to 1 underdog. So if he pulls it off and it's a real win, it's not some fake win, then why not? Because the skills he would have to show to beat Shakur, to some extent or other, will translate to a Crawford fight, but that's miles off. I think he gets stunk the place out. I think the chances are, look, Teo blows hot and cold. There's literally a 50% chance. Yeah? Let's add the fights up. Barboza, what would you call that? I'd call that an average night. It wasn't red hot, so we'll discount that. We're doing stinkers versus red hot to work out the chance he turns up. Jermaine Ortiz, stinker. Josh Taylor, red hot. Sandor Martin, stinker. Kambosos, stinker. Lomachenko, red hot. So it's 3 to 2. So you've got over a 50% chance that Teo's on a stinker. And even if you count the Barboza one as red hot, which it wasn't, but call it that, it's 50% at best. At best, there's a 50% chance Teo has a stinker. And that rate's too high. Because even when Shakur has a stinker, he's winning 10 out of 12 rounds, whether we like it or not. And that's what this game's about if you're trying to make some shmoney. Yeah? At the end of the day. We've got another clip here from TEOFIMO.
Are you training to do something to not just beat Shakur, but to beat him in grand fashion? When I say grand fashion, I mean going for the knockout.
Well, I think that the whole thing with is the Bible of boxing really is that if you look for the knockout, you won't get it. You know, I think really it's just all about setting a good pace early in the beginning rounds and then going from there, setting that tone. I think that I don't see him going those 12 rounds. This is his first time moving up to 140. A lot of these guys can say a lot of things about me not knocking them out or whatnot, but they don't come and try to fight me after they feel this power. So it's for a reason. It carries. It does carry. I mean, I had a good showing with Arnold Barboza. He was number one, my mandatory, and he didn't. He was too hesitant trying to commit to punches. So I think that it's just something that is going to be a rude awakening for Shakur.
Are you
Moving up in weight is a good point, but I think, like I said, look at Devin Haney. He's moved up and he looks a lot, but he looks a lot stronger and a lot more sturdy. I don't like weight cutting. Shakur, in the same breath, might benefit from it. To be fair, the extra weight. Teo, he's only moved up one weight class. He doesn't look dead at the weight though. But Shakur to me looks like he looks quite. I think he's tall. Let's have a look at the face off. This is what I'm saying. These things are fake. This is exactly what I mean, right? We just looked on BoxRec. Teo's 5'9", not on your Nelly is he's 5'6", and Shakur's 5'8", right? Which, in my mind, I'd have told you Shakur's taller than TEOFIMO. Let's have a look at this then. Oops. Now, has Shakur got some big boots on? Even so, there's no way. You can just look at the eye lines. Forget about the hair. The eye line's there. There's not much in it. Half an inch or an inch. But even look at the shoulders. The shoulders look a lot higher. Either way, there's not much in it. But if anything, you're leaning towards Shakur. So I think Shakur's going to benefit more from the weight, and Teo isn't moving up again. So he's where he is, and Teo can't punch. Who's he punched up at? I mean, wow, I completely forgot about this one. Teo had a stinker against Steve Claggett as well. So basically, Teo's recent form is stinker against Jermaine Ortiz, stinker against Claggett. Watch that fight. Oh, it was awful, woeful. And then an alright fight against Barboza, so he ain't blown hot for a while, but sometimes, is it one of them ones where, well, I've had 3 bad ones on the trot, so the next one has to be good. You just don't... The point is, you can't bet on Teo. Unless, like I said, you wait for the first round or two, get a read for it. If Teo's red hot, then you chunk some on him. That's where the value will be. There's no value nowhere else. I guess you could go Shakur on points. Let's see what that's going to pay you. Shakur. Let's assume we did Shakur on points. Yeah, no good. Not really. You put a tenner on Shakur, you'll win £5.30. 53% return. I mean, if you knew that would happen, right? If it was a guaranteed cert. I don't think it is a guaranteed cert, though. Not pre-fight. Yeah, I can't tell you that. I can't tell you it's guaranteed. The distance is guaranteed. I'd rather take 22% guaranteed and load up than gamble on Shakur and then you get a moody decision, or Teo's red hot and Shakur isn't used to fighting a prime athlete. Most of the cats Shakur has fought, they're one-dimensional, and boxers tend to do well against them. Right? Zepeda is like a more active Brian Norman. Does that make sense? Hands on your head and you're letting your hands go. Boxers love that. Look at Canelo and Crawford. They can do that all day. Bivol and Crawford. Bivol isn't a pure out boxer, but still, you see what, if you've got your hands on your head, even Kovalev was doing alright, washed up off the moody Russian hooch. Kovalev was doing okay with Canelo. Lara had no problems with Canelo. If you've got your hands on your head and the other guy's an elite athletic boxer, they don't tend to have problems. Yeah? So Shakur was never going to struggle with Zepeda or Valdez, who were the top names he's fought, to be honest. The only top names he's fought. There's no other names on it. He was never going to struggle with them, though. And it links back to the Brian Norman fight with Devin Haney. This will be the first time Shakur's in there with someone who's athletically gifted, in a boxing sense. Teo's done that with Lomachenko. Yeah? Lomachenko's athletically gifted, good feet, quick hands, high boxing IQ. Zepeda's hands on his head, charging at you and trying to find. Shakur could do that. He's shown it. He can do it all day and night. Can he react and adjust to Teo and what he's doing? These are questions. We'll find out, and I'm intrigued. This is a proper fight. This is what we want. We should have had this. We should have had Tank versus Shakur, and these fights have been knocking around for 5 years. But whatever, we're getting one of them now. Some more beef here.
You gotta master. I can tell him all the game plans and everything, because a true master in anything in boxing, the sport, you gotta master yourself. You gotta learn how to beat yourself. So if I give you all the tools on how to beat me, and I beat you,
I already know how to beat you, bro.
Nobody beat me.
I already know how to beat you.
All right, well, you guys tune in early 2026.
Easy.
It's going down. Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, sugar and sweet. We're gonna make it nice and pretty for you all. I can tell them all.
Pause, but listen. Shakur hasn't necessarily needed to show it yet. Then again, I don't think Teo's the one to bring it out of him, but I tend to lean toward, I think Shakur will be a dog if he needs to. I think the influence on Crawford will help him to some extent, or has helped him to some extent. But I could be wrong. Even Devin Haney, when we was laughing at him for getting punched up by Ryan Garcia, he did get back up. He did. But I think Shakur's even more. If it came to it, and he needed to, I think you'd see him put the hammer down. But then again, his hands are soft, aren't they? His hands are soft, man. He was wincing when he was fighting Josh Padley on a week's notice. His hand was buggered. That's another factor there. Can he beat Teo Can he beat a hot Teo one-handed? That's a whole nother ball game, right? So there's a lot of things. I saw Shakur do a little power puff shot, and he was like, and he had to have 7 months off the gym. So I'm not touching this one like that. Apart from the distance, I can't see how you can really hop into this with any confidence, unless you're a homosexual. If you're a Shakur fan, you'll just lob it on. You probably lob it. There'll be some idiots out there lobbing it on Shakur by KO. Zero chance. Honestly, there's zero chance of it. Zippo chance of Shakur stopping Teo. And there's even less chance. If there was zero chance for Shakur stopping Teo, there's -0 chance of Teo stopping Shakur. I think, Shakur's too slippery, man. His feet are too slick. His defense is decent enough. There's no way he's getting stopped. Not by Teo. Teo, bro, you had a tear up with Bamocius Cambocius. And you came off the worst. Honestly, it's a shame we can't see this, but I bet you any money. We saw Teo try and have a tear up with Bamocius Cambosis, and he came off worse for wear. He came off like, hurt my head. Ouch. That's how it happened. You saw the fight, I ain't gonna lie about it. But I'm telling you, if you put Shakur and Cambosis in a phone booth, I'm backing Shakur still. It's a bit like, I think that Sam Noakes is miles better than Bamocius Cambosis, but still, you put one of these athletic dudes like Abdullah Mason, who's more spiteful than Shakur, but still, if Shakur had to be, he can do all that in the pocket. He can do it. He chooses not to, which is irritating, but I believe he could. He would tear Cambosis' ass up in the pocket if he wanted to. Why doesn't he do it? That's a whole nother debate, but he could do. That's what I'm saying. So when it gets tough, it's always better as well to back an undefeated fighter. Lopez can lose. We've seen him lose against Bamocius Cambosis. Is that the only loss he's had? I think it might be, actually. Yeah, it's the only loss he's had. So has he rewritten the wrongs? Well, he didn't rewrite them against Sandor. In fact, that's a great point. Wait there a minute. That's a great point, folks. We've been talking about how, Lopez can definitely deal with a boxer because he's got the experience of Lomachenko. What we've missed is, watch the Sandor Martin fight. Honestly, I'm not even biased. Even though I did have money on Sandor Martin before the fight, it wasn't just that, honestly. I thought Sandor Martin won that fight. and one judge had it 94, 95. Sandor Martin was a hyper D side, right? Sandor Martin puts down Lopez, arguably twice, but gets scored for once. How can you lose on points when you put the A side down, and he won most of the rounds as well? Listen, Sandor Martin isn't Mike Tyson. He was boxing. My point is, Sandor Martin is a boxer. Nowhere near as gifted as Shakur. And Teo had life and death problems with it. And I think the trend is, I'm looking at now, Teo tends to do better with, well, in theory, if he turns his brain on, he tends to do better with people who could run at him. Josh Taylor was running at him. Although Jermaine Ortiz ran at him and he didn't do nothing. Sandor Martin boxed him up. Kambosos ran at him, but he was, I don't know, too much. Shakur all day and night. I'm thinking Shakur on points now. I'm thinking that's guaranteed, sir. I've talked myself into it. What's Teo going to do? I think Teo will do nothing. But I'll wait till the fight starts. I'd rather see a round or two and let the odds get closer towards Shakur and then just lob it on. Shakur by unanimous might be like half decent still. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, folks. Smash the like button, subscribe, like the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this. Some people stop it. Bosh.